to have all of you here. And maybe I should give you the genesis of these free coaching sessions. They started from the Money Journal. I believe quite a number of you have bought the Money Journal. This Money Journal is a guide for you and your money. And the idea, you'll not find it in Textbook Center and in all these bookstores, because when you buy it, you need to be guided. Yeah, you need to be guided on how can you make it good use of it so that it's effective. So like Anne-Maria has introduced Profit Acumen, we are a money coaching firm. And the idea about money coaching, when people hear about money, I believe what goes to your mind is maybe financial planning, financial consultancy, or financial advisor, yeah, which is quite distinct from money coaching. And I'll explain to you the difference, because more often there's a confusion with the two. When you come to financial planning, financial consultancy, and financial advisor services, they look at where you are. You maybe present your income and expenses, and you tell them where you are at. I'm trying to adjust my light as we go along. Where you are at, and how you spend your money. And then they tell you, this is what we'll do maybe to get you to point A or B. So they look at your outer dynamics. When it comes to money coaching goes on your inner state. Maybe I should mention, for those who may not know, that money has two sides. When you look at any currency, for instance, all over the world, when you look at any currency, the currency has two sides. The coin has two sides. The note has two sides printed. There would have been a choice to have only one side printed, but it's printed two sides for a reason, because money has two sides. It has the material side and the spiritual side of money, the inner dynamics. So money coaching goes into the inner issues around money, which drive your money choices and behavior, and make you do the things you do around money. Yeah. So it brings a sense of self-awareness, creates a greater financial balance, because you're beginning to solve your money issues from the root cause, as opposed to just the outer issues that come with money. So I hope that is clear on why money coaching and what the other does. So for the longest, I was a financial consultant. And when I looked at my own money pains, and I also looked at what was happening, the patterning with my clients, I realized that you would go put in place good strategies, really guide the clients, they are with you. But after maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, people default back to certain patterns. So that is what I went to study. What makes the human person default back to certain patterns when it comes to their behavior around their money? And that was the origin of Profit Acumen, where now we do money coaching. Great. So who is here? Well, I can see quite a number of people. So our topic for today, and I'll borrow a lot from the Money Journal. If you have your Money Journal, please, I'll keep mentioning certain pages, so you go there and we move together. If you don't have it, it's fine. I'll make sure you don't get lost. We have to move together. So later, I'll maybe explain how we deliver our money coaching services. For now, we'll proceed to the topic of the day, which is the 5 strategies to regain control over your money. Yeah, because sometimes you cannot resolve what you don't know how to. Yeah. And I'll start with a story, my own story. That was several years ago, 13 years ago. When I gave birth, I had my first birth it was a twin pregnancy. And I happened to gain 40 kilos. And at that time, I was quite senior in the corporate world with a multinational company, and it was busy, timing difference at night, you're working, and with young children here, and a lot. My life was in a pilot mode. And in between this whole process, I equally just continued to gain more weight. Yeah. Because with a busy life, you don't pay attention. My self-care was at its lowest. I used to just eat what is available because my life was on a pilot mode. But then I began having problems, knee problems, tummy issues. And I realized I was constantly taking one pill or another. Yeah. At some point, I realized something had to change. Yeah. I had to change something to, I could not keep relying on medicines, and the heavy weight was also too much on me. And you know, when you have young children, you have to keep bending, standing, doing many activities. So I had to pay attention and reach a full stop and decide something had to change. So that was the first point. Yeah, to get into shape, I realized that I had a problem. And the second one was to identify what is making me not change. Yeah, what is stopping me from getting into the right size? So I began that process. And it's the same thing. For you to regain or gain control over your money, you need to first realize there is a problem. Then identify what is my obstacle, what stops me from getting to my desired financial fitness. Because nobody can say that they don't want to be fit financially. It's a desire of all of us. Yeah, all of us would want to be fit financially. So identify there's a problem, and then secondly, what is stopping me from getting to where I want to be financially? So I have a table here. I hope all of you can see my screen. And this table just reflects what we have in the Money Journal, the topic on your financial well-being. And this table depicts the 5 stages of financial well-being. And I'd like you to identify, where am I at? Because depending on where you are at, it will show itself in your emotions, in your behavior, and in your financial status. Yeah. So, and I want to start from maybe, let's start from the top. When you are in a state of financial fulfillment, I've not listed all the emotions here, but if you have the Money Journal on page 55, we have the detailed, we have more details in there. So, financial fulfillment. When you're in a state of financial fulfillment, you have a peace of mind. Yeah. You, in terms of behavior, you look for, because your money is in abundance. You have that desire to give back. Yeah. You, in terms of financial status, you share knowledge and you allocate wealth. So money is not the problem. More often is, what do I do with it? And the same more or less applies to financial freedom, the sense of achievement, but there is also that fear of loss with the financial freedom, in the sense that what if I lose this lifestyle? Yeah. So your antennas are quite alert. Then you live a discretionary lifestyle, which means you do the things you desire to do. So you are not driven by the employer, or you're not driven by the client, because your investments, the returns on your investments are paying your bills. So your life is filled with the things you choose to do. You spend your time, you win back your time. Then financial security. So this is where your income equals to your expenses and you have no debt. I find my lighting quite. And you have no debt. So it means then you have confidence to face the day. Every day starts and you're happy to face it. Why? Because nobody's calling you for any debt. You've paid your bills. You know whatever expenses you've committed to, you'll meet all of them. Yeah. So over here, your concern, your behavior is more to look into the future. How will my future play out? What do I need to do? So you're more futuristic when it comes to where you're paying attention on your finances. Then we have financial stability. This is where your income equals your expenses, but in those expenses, there is debt. But your whatever it is you're earning, and you're able to pay your debts. Yeah. So it means you have a sense of relief, a sense of accomplishment. So you just seek more information. So as we go along, I hope you're picking up where you are at in the financial well-being stages. Then we have financial awareness. This is where you begin to raise your level of awareness. Yeah, maybe you went for a seminar, maybe a friend has said something, maybe you've been pushed by life, and like COVID was one aspect that raised people awareness when it comes to their money, because there was quite a lot of instability in people's money. So your financial awareness, you're more curious, you begin to change habits, things that maybe put you into continuous spending, and you're more cautious, and you begin to need a plan. Yeah? It could be a reason why some of you are here, because you're beginning to raise your awareness and you want to put in place a plan, you want to begin changing things. Then we have financial avoidance. This is where you're overwhelmed. Often what causes this overwhelm is because the bills that knock your door are more than the income that you have. Yeah? You find you have no saving. There is no structure around your money. So whatever bills that come, they are paid. Yeah? Or you find a way to keep borrowing from here, paying here, again you borrow another to cushion this other debt. So you are more or less juggling around with money. So, and with this comes a sense of frustration. And at this stage of the financial well-being stages, you find this is where things like pressure comes in. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of depression. Yeah. We borrow a lot from the work of financial social work. They're in California, and they did a research on what causes most of these things like drugs, alcoholism, emotional stress, and money ranked number one. Yeah, money ranked number one as one of the causes of pressure in humanity. So and you find why that pressure comes in is because you are at that stage of financial avoidance, yeah, or financial chaos, where you just don't know where things are, no savings, unpaid bills, growing debt, and maybe your income is inconsistent, where today you have, tomorrow you don't have. So that causes pressure. Yeah, that causes quite a bit of pressure. And you find you have to keep abdicating, you keep overspending. So you're more or less someone who is just walking on your toes because of the money pressures. So I'll pause a bit and ask each of you to look at the screen and see, where am I at in the financial well-being stages? What stage am I at? I'll give you 2 minutes. For the ones who have just come in, look at the screen and identify where you are at in the financial well-being stages. Identify where you are at in the financial well-being stages. Okay, great. Great. I hope you've identified where you are at, because we cannot speak of strategies when we don't know where we are at, how things sit as regards our own finances. Okay. So we move on. Yeah. So when we speak of financial crisis, it's usually generated by this over time. So it's not a one-off. You find over time, your income is lower than your expenditure. Your income is lower than your expenditure. So what happens over time? It creates a crisis. Yeah. But also, where your income equals to your expenditure, it nils out. So the next month, you're waiting for the next check to start again. It's also a very trading on very on a very thin line, because our life it's difficult to not have additional cash requirements. Like for me, a month like June, it's a month I never anticipated. I never anticipated I would lose my father. And that just came with its own financial demands. So things like this come. So when you put yourself to live paycheck to paycheck, then it means when such things happen, you find yourself completely lost, or you find you get into a financial crisis. So let's look at the obstacles. Yeah, what leads to that this state of not being in a financial well-being or financial fulfillment or financial freedom? And maybe you're coming with the mind that we are going to look at, you need to budget, you need to save, you need to invest. Yeah, it's true. But those are outer issues that are driven. Yeah, we need to look at what makes you not. Yeah, there is a behavior that leads you not to create a budget. There's a behavior pattern that makes you not to invest. Because I don't think what we lack here is lack of knowledge of where to put money. Yeah, all these things are advertised day in, day out. But why don't we do it? Is because of inner issues. So those are some of the inner issues we look at. So the first one is denial. Yeah, denial, which is one of the biggest obstacles. So what happens? We do not, when it comes to money, first of all, the image we carry outside is not the real image inside. And it's true, we don't need people outside to know how things are inside. But the thing is, if that constant image that I create outside continues to impose pressure on my pocket, then it's not supportive. Yeah. So if the truth be known, you'll find that the societal language, the societal tone also equally does not help, because we've been made to look at things that are painful, our money pains are made to look normal. Yeah. For instance, they very much sold online debt, yeah, online borrowing. So nobody pays attention. How much am I paying here? How much is the cost of holding this account? Like the other day, I was telling the members of the Money Coaching Hub. The Money Coaching Hub is a collaborative learning space for people who are working, people in business. And we meet every first Friday of the month. And there's in one of the sessions, I was telling them that, do we know that when you have a Fuliza account, do you know that every day, whether you borrow or you don't borrow, for as long as it's alive, you are charged 30 shillings. Right now, the government introduced excise duty on those charges. So which means it's 30 plus excise duty. Yeah. So not paying attention, because everyone seems to have Fuliza, so I have it. And yet it's slowly eating my money. At the end of the month, when you calculate in total, you're actually just giving away 1,000 shillings or more, simply because I'm keeping up with what the society says is the in thing now. So unlike me, who at the time I was struggling with weight issues, it was something visible, which I had to, even if I was in denial, it's something I could not deny. It could be seen. Money issues is something that we can easily cover up and give it a face that we want it to look, and continue just forcing ourselves in a certain box, yeah, to fit in or to seem like I'm living what the society has made it look normal. Yeah. So what do we do? Because here there is the obstacle, and what is the strategy? One is to get to self-knowledge, to understand who am I? Because money funds who you've defined yourself to be. That is what it funds. Yeah. If you've defined yourself to be a rich person, and it means then I have to have this, and the other for me to be defined as rich. So it means your money behavior, your money patterns will be responding to that rich title. So understand, who am I? We go back to basics. Who am I? And what makes me happy? What makes me happy? What do I want out of this beautiful vessel called life? So go back into a understanding of self, so that you're not defined by money and material things. And we are launching our YouTube channel on Monday. I'd like you to listen to that first episode because it has a lot to do with this. Yeah. What you believe about yourself, how you've categorized yourself in the society, which in effect may make you live in denial. When you live in denial, it means your expenses are not driven by what comes in. It's driven by what status am I carrying? Yeah, where I live. Yeah. So to see what is my reference point. And in the money journal, under my healthy self-esteem, that is on page 1, it has a very detailed explanation on this, on self-knowledge, self-esteem, self-love, and who is your model? Who are you modeling? Yeah? Because depending on that, it can either give you money joys or money pains. All right, then secondly, we have the money and consciousness. Money and consciousness. And when we talk of money and consciousness, we are talking about those things that are within us, yeah, the beliefs, the behavior patterns that make us do the things we do. And these things have an origin. Yeah, you find that as we grew up, depending on where how we were brought up, we had certain money stories. Yeah, we acquired a money history. We acquired a money culture that we carry with us unknowingly. Yet, it's on the driver's seat and defines what we do around money. And it explains why, when it comes to money, most people live such imagined lives as opposed to real life. We imagine what our life will be than living the now, what my life is. I earn X, so my life should be X. So we measure our possibility of greatness according to the amount of wealth, as opposed to the person I am. So we are constantly waking up on a rat race of chasing money. Yeah, going after money. Why? Because I need to fill these gaps of what defines me, which is the things I've acquired. And in the process, we live a lot of, we fantasize instead of living and becoming what we would desire to be. So you find this way of living is driven, they are either reactive or responsive modeling based on our past that make us behave around money the way we do. So what then do we do? What then that does this come with? It comes with a lot of emotional baggage. And having more money just adds to the weight of the baggage. So until you go back and clean up your inner state to find those hardwired and supportive patterns that drive your money behavior, you'll find even if you go into budgeting, even if you start saving, somewhere in between there, the pattern stems up and the thing stops. And I'd like to ask, because I can see we have a number of people here, whether anyone who can share patterns that you, maybe good things around money that you've started, but without you knowing, you can't even explain, how did I even stop? For instance, I had started saving. I had stopped this kind of debt. And before I know it, I'm back to it. Anyone would like to share? I can see a number of people here, but all of you, your videos and audios are off. Anyone to start us off? All of us are shy to say something. You know, money is a taboo subject, but we have to break the taboo, yeah, and speak about it, because things that are kept in the closet, that is where the real problems are. So we need to break the taboo and speak. Who would like to say something? I can see Mary Onyango, I can see Mercy, Lugahi, I can see Maureen, Marianne. Who would like to say something? Everyone is quiet. I can see Alex, Madenge, Daniel, Diana. Let's warm up and talk. So wealth does not only make psychological and personal problems disappear. To the contrary, it just magnifies it. Yeah. So we need to understand, what is my inner state? What are those hardwired patterns within me that make me behave around money the way we do? So wealth without consciousness is but another state of poverty. So even if you get the money and you don't know your inner state, those hardwired patterns, you just gain what we call a state of emotional and spiritual poverty. So the answer is not to chase money. The answer is to go through that process of unearthing the hardwired patterns that drive your money behavior. And that's what we call the core process of money coaching. And I'll tell you more about it as we go along. I think Anne-Marie will also share with us how we help clients to go through the process of self-discovery and enlightenment on the inner state. Then financial illiteracy, yeah? That burying your head in the sand of not wanting to know how things are. And a number of instances I've engaged with clients, and you find people do not even know how much they earn. Yeah? Somebody does not even look at their pay slip. There are deductions in there. They care less what they are all about. Yeah? So you only operate with your money from the ATM, and nowadays even from the phone, because you can withdraw from your account to the phone and you just start operating. That is the highest level of financial illiteracy. And it's not because of incompetency. It's simply because I just don't want to pay attention to it. It's not difficult. It's not something that is difficult to do, to look at how much has come in, how much is going out, how do the two speak to each other. So you find you are this person who earns on the first, by the fifth, you are broke. And you actually don't have. And that is why you find these products that have come, yeah, equity release on the bank side, M-Pesa, M-Shwari, KCB loans, all these mobile loans, Shylocks, they are very busy. They are very busy because a good majority of people do not pay attention to their money. So when you don't pay attention to it, you just withdraw and enter Carrefour or Naivas and we start shopping and shopping. When your satisfaction with money is in what you see in terms of material things, then you just continue to go into the same vicious cycle. You're just in a vicious cycle. A good money behavior starts from paying attention on what has come in, understanding why is it this and not the other. And then draw up and understand, how am I going to use this money? What is of priority now? It's not necessary that we must always have these many, especially consumeristic debts. So we need to raise our level of financial competency, basic competency. And as it is, the same way we have KPIs in the office, yeah, key performance indicators, you need to put yourself on that as regards your money. To see, does my money, your first KPI, does my money take me to the end of the month? Okay, then another obstacle, the money myths, yeah? And money myths are the lies that we tell ourselves. And in the money journal, under money boundaries, yeah? And it says that money boundaries are not optional, they are a necessity. And what are money boundaries? Is that clear understanding that where does my spending start and where does it stop? Just the same way in a neighborhood, there are fences that define where does my compound start and where does it stop. It brings harmony on how people live, and money boundaries equally brings harmony on how you manage your money. Where do you draw the line for self, and where do you draw the line for dealing with others? And here, dealing with others is the people who benefit from what you earn. So you find that because of lack of money boundaries, which drawing up a budget helps, a monthly budget that you operate with helps in putting boundaries, we end up spending on the impulse. When you have no budget, it means that what is placed more on your five senses, it's what carries the day. It's where the money goes. And that is why you even see the arrangement in the supermarket. It's such that certain things are brought to your eyes closer and closer. And that's what leads to impulse buying. Then careless budgeting or not budgeting at all. Then living beyond means, yeah? And that living beyond means, it goes back to the first point of living in denial. I usually have no problem on wanting a better life than maybe you led when you are younger. But the thing is, you need to work for it. You need to understand where is the money coming from to meet this lifestyle? You need to reconcile your income strategy with your expense strategy. So it can't be one-sided that I only want this lifestyle. Yet, I've not put in place measures to counter it with where is the money coming from to fund this lifestyle. Then another boundary for yourself is putting in place measures on how do I borrow. Yeah? So when you borrow, to have that level of understanding, how am I going to pay it back? And this happens a lot with things like mortgage. When we are on mortgage, we more or less assume this is my house, yeah, and we call it my house, and we don't pay attention to this mortgage is for 20 years, yet I'm now 50 years. It means I can only work, my employer can only employ me for another 10 years. How will this play out in the next 10 years? Yeah, to have that mental reconciliation of the numbers, appreciation of numbers and mental reconciliation of the numbers. Yeah, so that the money mix, I can always save later. Here, we try to encourage you, yeah, to try and adopt the pay yourself first approach. It's something we insist on a lot. Some of the people on this call are members of the hub, and most of them have put in place that measure, where when your money comes in, the first strategy is to pay yourself first. Yeah. So instead of following what the majority people do, where you pay bills, you buy a little luxury here, a dinner or two here, then you save what is left. Yeah. You turn around that. Start by paying yourself first. Give yourself a percent of what goes to you, which you either decide to save or invest, or you decide to use it to bring down your debt. It's a way of also saving by bringing down your debts faster. For me, to recover from my own money pains, one of the things that got me out of it was the Pay Yourself First program. I was very consistent and religious on this Pay Yourself First program. So when I advocate for it, I know what it's been able to do for me. So you start by paying yourself first, then pay your bills. Because when you pay yourself first, let's say 10%, then it means it will be your work to make sure your bills fit into the 90%. The truth is that if you can survive on 100%, you can equally survive on 90% of that amount if you make a few adjustments. So pay yourself first, pay your bills, then spend what is left. So change that, yeah? Then boundaries, dealing with others. That is on page 117 of the Money Journal. So, you know, when money is emotional, money is an emotional tool, and it has a way to connect with people's emotions. So what happens, you find that there is a guilt feeling that comes with telling people, I'm not able to support you on this or the other. So with this guilt feeling, you find people, your money has no boundaries when it comes to other people. There are other people who getting 1,000 or 2 from you is just a matter of them asking, and it comes out. So you need to develop what we call a personal money philosophy. So get clear about your money philosophy and articulate it to others. over time, people will get to understand when it comes to this person, I cannot keep going to them for this or the other. So understand your money goals and invest in them. Usually when we keep dishing out money, especially without even authenticating whether it's a genuine need or not, you often find we ourselves have no money goals. We have no direction with the money. No wonder it goes out easily. Yeah? And then to use what we call delayed gratification, where you can delay it for that ask, you can delay it for 1 or 2 days and see whether it will still be coming back. More often, most of those needs just fizzle away. So the money myths. I can always save later, pay yourself first. Yeah, my family won't be happy if I don't give them this, the best, or the other. That guilt feeling, to overcome it. Yeah, or even why should I make more money? Yeah, that mindset that money is not necessary anyway. I'm okay the way I am. Really? If you're okay, there are a lot of needs. There are many people who would do with your help. There are many giving funds that you can develop, you can get into through giving. Yeah. So we all need a lot of money, and money is something good. It's something ordained by God. It's something good. We need to tap into our creative flow and see how can I build more income to improve creation, to improve my own life as I improve creation. Then another mindset is I'll always be broke. Not necessarily. Yeah, that is a myth. If you behave around money the way you should, if you're clear about what comes in and what should go out, there's no way you'll always be broke. Yeah, that is something that is created by our own selves. And then within the money myths, why they are listed for there, inside the money myths, we have the debt myths. Yeah, it's human nature to want and to want it now. It is also a sign, apparently it's a sign of immaturity. When you find that you cannot wait for a month or even a day or two to have what you want, there is an inner immaturity in there. Yeah. So to see, we need to cultivate that inner resilience of not having things when we need them, because that I want, what does it do? It constantly keeps you in debt. And I think if some of you here are parents, you'll find we are always quick to stop our children from crying, I want this, I want the other. Yeah. Yet we ourselves, we literally scream our head out, maybe not loudly, when we want something. So we will go miles to borrow to get, because I want it and I want it now. So debt, the understanding that debt is a tool that helps us to get to prosperity. It's something that has to be polished. Yeah, because debt in itself may not be necessarily bad, but the lack of connection of the cost of the debt, the period of the debt, how much I earn, what are my skill set, what is it that I do that will go towards paying this debt, that 360-degree connection of the effects of this debt is what makes that bad. Because you find we take it looking at the now, but not looking at, will I be able to sustain it to the end? So we need to understand our numbers. We need to understand, where am I at as regards to how much do I earn? And maybe I've dwelt so much on the expenses. I'd like to also mention something on earnings. What makes us not earn the amount we desire? Yeah. On page 80 of the Money Journal, there's a topic of my creative flow and energetic field. And it says that money finds its way into our hands by means of creative intention. What is creative intention? Is working, yeah? Working and working well, which is the process of moving creative thoughts, ideas, imagination into form and action. So money represents a creative energy that is attracted to the creative flow that is present within our human universe. So when I go, I leave my house, I dress up, and I go start looking for places where people are doing money without understanding what are my inner giftings? What are my strengths? Is this for me? So you find you make money on a touch and go, and it quickly leaves your hands the same way. So when you are not purposeful, when you are not intentional, you find you equally, yes, you go for quick fixes of money, and it quickly leaves your hands. So the creative energy of money cannot sustain itself when the host field, you yourself, becomes dark. You don't know what are the good things within you. How can I create multiple sources of income using the skill set, the gifts, the passion, the knowledge, the opportunities that are around me? And that is what we call purpose. Purpose is that opportunity to marry your gifts, your passions, your skills, your knowledge, and opportunities for a cause greater than self. So you can be purposeful in your work as an employee by how you deliver that which you're given, going beyond your your job description. And that is how you get to get the promotions. And with that, you attract more money. So instead of, sometimes we think, oh, I'm in this office and I do 10 other things out there to make some quick fixes, yet the kind of attention, it's not within your skill set, it's not within your passion, it's not your talent. So you find you just make money here, lose it the other side, because it's not purposeful. Each of us has an asset within us, and it's something that we were given, but we need to discover it so that we transmute it into its monetary equivalent, whether through employment or through business. And to find your purpose, there are 12 guidelines on this book. I can't go through all of them. The 12 guidelines to help you to find that which you can do to attract more money. But then once you attract it, then you apply that self-knowledge, that financial competency you get through the money mix, so that you get to attract it, you retain it, and grow it. Any question up to there? I can see everyone is very quiet. Somebody said we are following. Okay, you are following, but I'd like to hear from you Any comments? Thank you, Diana. Very informative. We are following keenly. My audience is very quiet. Welcome, Winnie. Okay.
Thanks. I've just joined.
Okay, sorry, you must have missed a lot. So I'd like to ask each of you to look at the screen and see how cautious is your relationship with money. How cautious is your relationship with money? Are you at stage 1 where you're practically asleep? And oh, Magdalene, you say it's deep stuff we are digesting. Thank you. Okay, we have to face this deep stuff. Our mission at Profit Acumen is to help as many human beings as possible on this earth to transform their relationship with money so that you can get to elevate your financial well-being. You know, there's a lot of money in this world. The thing is, the obstacles that makes us not even access it, and when we access it, it flips through our hands, is what is causing humanity a lot of pain. So if through such forums we can change one person and another and reduce the pain around money, we'll have done our job. So I'm glad all of you are here. So back to the screen. How cautious is your relationship with money? What I mean by cautious is, what is your level of awareness, on your money dynamics? Even when we just look at one pillar, financial competency, what is your level of awareness? Am I practically asleep, where I just chase money when it comes to my hands, I quickly go spend it? Am I driven by the material? The things I need to have. Number 2, the fog is beginning to lift. Maureen, I'm between number 2. Great, okay. Yeah. Am I moderately cautious and aware? And when you say you're moderately cautious and aware, it should show in your numbers. Am I deeply cautious and aware and my inner and outer, or of my inner and outer money dynamics? What that means is that you're on your journey to your financial independence, where the way you've structured your money will outlive you, and not the other way around, where you outlive your money. I can see Kennedy, I think I'm in number 3. Kennedy, why do you think you're in number 3? Because it's not about thinking, you need to, the 3 things, you remember the 3 aspects need to play out? Allow me to take you back there. Your emotions, your behavior, and your financial status. Yeah, your emotions, the emotions around money. Are you in a state of relief, confidence, control? You're planning for your future. Your income equals expenses and with no debt. Then you're in a state of that stage 3, financial security. Marianne, number 3. So the thing is, how can we get ourselves to number 4, to a state of financial well-being, where it's just not about the money, but my level of consciousness my level of awareness is high, where I operate on my thinking brain on how I acquire my money, how I retain it, and how I grow it. So there is a lot of intelligence that I apply around my money. So as you pick your level, I can see nobody here is in level 4. Ask yourself, what do I need to change to move to level 4? What needs to change? Do I need to begin paying more attention on my debt? Do I need to start looking at my payslip? Am I generating enough? Do I need to tap into my creative flow? What is that for you? Please write it down. Write down, what do I need to do? The session should help us make very specific shifts. What do I need to do to move to level 4? I see people prefer chatting, so we can go with the chatting. Anyone would like to share on the chat? And the one step to win with money is to break from the taboo, that fear, because fear keeps you in the closet with the cobwebs, with the, what are those, cockroaches, yeah? So you're with your money and with the wrong things in there. So when you break from that, you begin to excel and to understand more. Anyone would like to share some of the things you need to work on? Hey, Laura, I see you're unmuted. Please share with us. Laura, are you about to say something? Oh, continue learning more on safe investments. That's Marianne. Yeah, to build on your opportunity fund. And there's a topic on this money journal on opportunity fund, your savings and investments. Yeah. So you also need to have the right tools so that you use them in your learning. Thank you, Marianne, for sharing. Okay. So let's look at 6 steps to a better money management. So I hope each of you has okay, somebody has commented again, I need to practice paying myself. Excellent, Maureen. It is a very noble approach. Like I tell you, I had deep money pains myself. I do this work from a place of having learned from my own pains and corrected them. And one strategy that did it for me was pay yourself first. So I advocate for it. And it's something that you need to commit to and write down and tell yourself, this percent does not come to me. This percent either goes to reduce my debts. This percent either goes to my saving and investment. It is a psychology. It has a psychological angle to it. And it also marries with the Parkinson's law, which if you have the money journal, we've explained it in there, where you tell Parkinson's law, which says that a job that can be, if let's say your employer gives you work and tells you, I want it in 2 days, your boss, I want it in 2 days. Naturally, your physiology, your psychology will reconcile to finishing that work in 2 days. If that same work you're told, I want it by this evening, you'll finish it. And that is the same thing with money. When you tell yourself, I can work with 90%, you will work with 90%. Yeah. So the lifestyle we have, yeah, here is the Parkinson's law on page 115, says work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Yeah, the demand upon a resource tends to expand to match the supply of the resource. Anytime you're drawing on a resource, the amount of it that you use will be affected by the amount you have at your disposal. So when you pay yourself first, you reduce the amount on your disposal. Yeah, or rather the amount at your disposal. When less money is available at your disposal, you will find ways to get the same or better results with less. People survived during COVID last year with less. So by taking the pay yourself first approach to your finances, you will be forced to think smarter and innovate more in your spending. Yeah, so it's a way of managing self. It just goes beyond the amount. Great, thank you, Maureen, for sharing. So I wanted to now go to the 6 steps. Anne-Marie, how are we doing with time?
We have 45 minutes to go.
Okay, good. Okay, so I needed us to look at something on the 6 steps to manage your money management. Because when we talk of financial well-being, depending on which stage you are at, your finance, that is your house, that is your financial house. Yeah, so depending on which stage that house is at, it means certain things need to be cleared. So the best beginning is to understand, where am I at right now? What is my current reality? Write it down. So in order to begin to build a new relationship with money, it's important to start on a clean slate. To accomplish this, you'll need to clean up your financial house and tidy up any loose ends. And this can be a very painful process. Why? Because money is emotional. When you go and buy the things that you like, the things that make you feel a sense of happiness, there's an emotion attached to it. So when now you go through the clearing process and you are told this car has to go, you need to move to a smaller house, you need to do this adjustment, there's a lot of pain and emotion attached to that. So it may be a painful process depending on the degree of the financial chaos. But it's essential to clear out the old energy to make room for new energy. Otherwise, next year, this time, we'll just be talking about the same things. Yeah, I'm broke. I don't have enough money. I don't have, nothing changes. If nothing changes, nothing changes. You remain on the same spot. So this process will help you feel lighter. You have more energy and you're ready to lay new foundation for a new relationship with money. So you need to clean up the past, because that past, remember, it came with some emotional baggage. That process that I mentioned, the core process takes you through to help you clean up to help you find your hardwired patterns that drive your money behavior. Then secondly, once you've cleaned up your financial house, you need to set clear goals. What I call, define your desired lifestyle. Define who you are, what makes you happy money-wise, and put numbers against it. So have clear money goals. For instance, based on who I am, I would love to have a house in the city. Define what that looks like number-wise. I'd like to have a house up country. Define what it looks like number-wise. So draw up your desired lifestyle and with numbers against it. That's what we call the money goals. And when you draw up these things that you need, understand where is the money coming from? If I'm employed, how many years am I to go as an employee? And how stable is my income, my job, which nowadays, from what we've seen, all jobs become unstable with time. So what is my plan B? What is my other source of income? So we need to pay attention to these things. Then we have the pay yourself first, I've explained that. Then efficiency and innovation. When it comes to the things that we like, I see a number of women here. When it comes to the things of the kitchen, the things that we want in the kitchen and in the sitting room, those are things that are sentimental, have sentimental value. Usually we don't put a price to them. I buy what looks nice to me because I like it. What we don't, when we are driven by that, we don't give ourselves the chance to think, could I get this same thing at a more reasonable price somewhere else? Just the fact that it is somewhere else doesn't make it not of good value. So to apply that efficiency and innovation in your mind, how can I get this same thing at half the price? Or how can I use this thing twice the number of times I ordinarily use it, so that I release more money to go to other needs? The reality about life is that every single day you wake up, there are bills knocking your door. There are bills knocking your door. Some expected because you committed to them, some of them unexpected. You don't know how they got there. They come to you, but they come knocking. So we can't afford to put ourselves in positions where we are asset rich and cash poor. So we just have things that when you need money on your hands, you can't convert them into money as quickly. And when you have to convert them into money, you go at a loss at half the price you bought them. Things that when they leave the showroom, they are already half the price. Their depreciation rate is so high. Yeah, so efficiency and innovation, new ways of doing things. And COVID has shown us there are always new ways to achieve things. Then a standard denominator that should be playing in our heads all the time, any money lands in your hand, is how am I growing it? What piece of this money am I growing? Anything that does not grow, even you as a person, if you are not growing, a part of you is dying. If a relationship is not growing, it is dying. Anything, including your money, if it's not growing, then you're going backwards. So there must be a piece of your money that is multiplying. And I must say that if you are maybe in debt, a way to grow your money is to begin reducing the debt. That is the first strategy. There's no point of putting money in Old Mutual, and yet your debts are at a higher price. They are not it doesn't add up. It's just not a point of ticking. Not a point of ticking that I have this or I have the other. The numbers need to add up. You cannot be losing maybe 13% on the loan side, yet Old Mutual is paying you 8%. At the end of the day, there's nothing you're doing. Any questions? So those are the 5 steps. Then the sixth step is to repeat the 5 above. Any comment? Again, silence. This is a very quiet group. The last session was quite heated. I have a very quiet group today. Anne-Marie.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm sorry I joined late. I would have preferred to join earlier, so I don't know what you've covered. I can see the 5 steps that you've put on your screen.
Yes.
But this looks like a good topic, only that I got the link a little late this evening, so that's why I logged in late.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
My only request is if it's possible to, I don't know if you're going to repeat this, I would want to listen to it from the beginning.
Okay, I believe, Anne-Marie, are you recording?
Or if it's recorded, then
Live, live on Facebook. I'll try and save it there.
Okay. Will
All right,
that help, Helen?
Yes, it will. Thank you very much.
And any comment on what you've got so far?
Well, I only caught the part of you must pay yourself first.
Yes.
As a stressful thing, and as a business owner, I do that very well.
Good.
So yeah, so that one I fully understand about that.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's somebody, and it must be, it makes your business survive on a certain amount, isn't it?
Correct.
Yes. So it's a psychological game. Thank you, Helen, for your
Not
contribution.
at all. Not at all. Thanks as well.
All right. Anyone else? Somebody said in the comment, we are absorbing. Rebokani Washira, welcome and thank you. I'm glad you're absorbing. And as you absorb, I hope you're making certain shifts for yourself. You're noting down what you're going to change. Okay? Yes, great. Okay, great. Thank you. People seem to prefer more to contribute on the chats, which is also fine. Most importantly is that we are moving together. Nobody is feeling lost. All right. So our takeaway questions, the kind of life that we live or how our life turns out has a lot to do with the kind of questions we ask ourselves. Unknowingly, you find that every time you wake up, when you start applying your mind, it's driven by questions. Yeah. For instance, you've put a meal on your table, you're eating. Isn't it? You'll find there's a question, a silent question that you ask yourself, isn't it nice? And you say, oh, I'm enjoying this food. Yeah. There are always questions we ask ourselves. But the quality of our question determine what we do and the kind of outcome that we get. So on this specific topic, we need to ask ourselves, what is my current money situation? And here the question is not, what do I want it to be? What is it now? My current money situation is how much do I earn? How much do I make? What are my commitments? What are my obligations? And I want to comment something small on this thing of obligations. When you look at your obligations, maybe it may be good to pay attention on Thank you, Kennedy. Very interesting topic, learning a lot. Thank you. So when you look at your obligations, and it's something that we struggle with, many people who are middle class, that confusion that comes in on commitments made that we call our assets, yet in real sense, they are liabilities. And when we talk about money, the things that are assets are things that put money in your pocket. Yeah, things that put money in your pocket. And liabilities equally means they are things that take away money out of your pocket. You have to keep funding them to maintain them. So when you're understanding what is my current money situation, not just to put these are my assets, you need to be able to define assets for what they are. Then the second question, what may have caused it to be this way? Remember, the state of things has a lot to do with decisions. What decisions did I make that led me to be where I am at right now? What are the decisions that I made that were supportive? What are the decisions I made that were not supportive? That authentic conversation with self, driven from the right questions. Thirdly, what do I want? It looks a very simple question, but many adults have no idea what they want. They have no self-agenda. And that lack of self-agenda comes with money behavior, which more often than not is divorced from what you want, what exactly you're looking for. What is that that makes me happy? Who am I? What do I want? And what is that that for me, when I have it, it's enough. I'm happy with it. Then number 4, how can I begin to change things to get what I desire? What changes do I need to make? What do I need to adjust? Is it my income? Or is it my expenses? What do I need to adjust? Do I need an additional source of income? Do I need to restructure my business to begin generating money? What kind of money will keep me going through the month? What do I need? How can I begin to change things to get what I desire? You know, your financial responsibility, your financial position is your personal responsibility as an adult. It is a role that we try to delegate, but the buck stops with you. So we need to be able to ask ourselves these questions and answer them. Great, and with that we finish and open the floor for any questions, any discussion, any contribution. You mean all of you will leave having not said anything apart from Helen? You can chat. By the way, you can chat. That is also a way of communication. You can post your comments on the chat. What is
Maybe
your
I could.
Yes, please.
Maybe I could read the chats, Edith.
Yes.
I'm seeing Diana had commented that very informative. We are following keenly. Thank you, Diana, for joining us. I also see Magdalene had commented, it's deep stuff we are digesting. I hope you've understood or you've picked a few things from this session. Thank you for joining us. Another comment I'm seeing here from Maureen. She says she needs to practice paying herself first. So I'm sure that's something she picked from today's session. Thank you for joining us, Maureen. Rebokania has commented, we are absorbing. Thank you for joining. Hope you learned something. Kennedy said, very interesting topic, learning a lot. And then Lois has commented that beautiful presentation that calls for deliberate actions and commitment. Thank you, Lois, for joining us. Thank you, Kennedy, for joining us. And thank you. I'm seeing Kennedy has commented again. Thank you for the presentation. I would request that we have another session. Yes, there'll be sessions coming in. We'll have future sessions like this. Check out our social media platforms. We'll advertise. We'll have promotions going on there about the next session. Thank you, Magdalene. She's saying great session. I have learned so much. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Edith?
Great.
Those are the comments.
Thank you very much. I see we are together. You may be driving, you may be in the middle of something. That's why you're not able to speak, but we are following. That is what is most important. So over to you, Anne-Marie, with the announcements, unless somebody has something to say. But I'm glad to have poured my heart to you. Please share social media platforms. Anne-Marie will share.
Okay. Across all platforms, we're Profit Acumen. We're on Facebook, Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're also on Twitter. So you can follow us, just search Profit Acumen. I'll share, let me share, you'll see the logo so that you're sure that it's the right page. And with that, I'd like to share a few announcements. Thank you for joining us again for this session. Thank you, Edith, so much for taking us through this session. This was a free Friday money coaching session, and we hold it every other Friday, or when announced, we shall hold these sessions. So look out on our social media platforms for the next announcement if you'd like to join in on the next one. So the first announcement, and it's one that we're very excited to introduce, is that we are launching a podcast. So our podcast will go live on YouTube and on our page, Profit Acumen. So we'd like to invite you all to log on YouTube and listen to our first podcast episode that will be launching soon. On YouTube, we're Profit Acumen. Our social media platforms are also there on the bottom left of the screen. If you can see them, are Profit Acumen across all platforms. So our podcast will be launching on YouTube, and you can find us also there under the name Profit Acumen. Look out for our first episode. Our second announcement, as you may be noticed throughout the session, Edith was referring to a money journal that she's developed as a tool that is used to guide members who are in the Profit Acumen community. So the money journal is basically a journal, as the name suggests, that where we can write down different takeaways, different learning points, goals that you may have in regards to your money. And together with space to write all this, she has some notes that she's written that can help you guide you in the process. So our journal goes for 3,000, but it's discounted currently to 2,000. Feel free to reach out to us if you'd like a copy. But basically, to get your copy, you just pay the amount to our pay bill number 4037525, if you can see it on the screen, 4037525. Then as the account number, you put your name and we'll organize for delivery of the journal to you. We have an exciting program coming up. If you have children, young who are more of young adults in universities, or who have just started out in their careers, young professionals rather, would like to invite them, or would like to request you to invite them for this session that we shall be hosting next week, Wednesday, from 7 p.m., which will be 7 p.m. in the evening next week. We've discounted this program specifically for the young people, and it's an opportunity for them to get to understand money and myths and truths around it. So if you know anybody who would be interested, or if you have siblings, nieces, or children who fall in this category, feel free to invite them. And the cost will be 1,199, payable to the pay bill, the same pay bill, and just indicate your name. So if you'd like this flyer too, you can check it out on our social media platforms. You'll be able to see it there, and you can share it with whoever you think would be appropriate and who would love to learn about this. So throughout the session also, you might have heard Edith mentioning about the Money Coaching Hub, which is one of the products that we have at Profit Acumen. This is a collaborative forum where we have several people who've come together to learn different aspects of money. So in the hub, we have sessions, which every first Friday of the month, we have a 2-hour session with Edith where she takes us through different topics. When you're part of the hub, you're also lucky to have an open office. There's some open office hours that you can take advantage of, where you get to sit with Edith and have a discussion about something in relation to money that may be affecting you or that you'd like to know more about. If I could share this quarter, so we do the hub goes on quarterly. So currently we're on the 3rd quarter, and this quarter our theme is Total Money Makeover. We've already had the first session, but we'll have a makeup for it when we get the numbers. But for the second session, which is next month, the first Friday of next month, August, we'll be talking about critical debt management strategies to accelerate your cash flow. So if you'd be interested in joining this hub, feel free to reach out to us again on our social media. Our number is also down at the banner, if you can see. Just get in touch to us and we'll join you in the group where we can learn together about how to elevate our financial well-being. If I go on, one of the key products that we offer at Profit Acumen is the core process. So the core process can be done at an individual level or as part of a group. Basically, what happens in the core process, we take an in-depth analysis of your hidden money patterns and behaviors and try to correct any misleading or unconscious patterns that may have been formed with truths and beliefs that can help you become better overall when it comes to your financial well-being. So this is done either one-on-one in the individual core process, which Edith, you sit one-on-one with Edith and have get to unearth these hidden patterns and try correct any destructive ones with patterns that may be now in your favor and help you improve your well-being when it comes to finances. The other option of doing the core process is to have it in a circle where we have 6 people in the circle, and in a group you come together and Edith guides you on unearthing the same hidden or unconscious money patterns and behaviors that you may be having. So if you'd be interested in joining these sessions, feel free to reach out to us. And that's it. If there's no questions, I'd like to say thank you again for joining us in this session today. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Any comments? I think Anne-Marie will have to just rely on the chat. Any comments, any questions?
I'm seeing there's a question here.
Mm-hmm.
From Kennedy, that's what I can see. He asking, how long does it take to deliver the journal after receipt of payment? As soon as we receive the payment, it can be delivered the same day, depending on the time of order, or the next day. We'll send, as soon as we receive payment, we organize for it to be delivered to you. So it depends on the time you order it. We can do same day delivery if it's ordered well in earlier on in the day, but if not, we can organize for it to be delivered on the next day.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for that. Anything else? Oh, I can see a comment from Lois. Lois, thank you for being with us. I highly recommend the Money Coaching Circle. Just finished my session. Wow, thank you, Lois. Thank you for that feedback. And if you are open to share, you'd have told us what impacted you most.
Interesting. I'm still trying to recover, Edie, you know that very well. From the session, because I mean, this is what I would say. It's been a great session. I think each one of us needs to peel the onions in our lives. And a lot of the times, or what I have learned, is that what presents itself as money issues may not necessarily sometimes be the origin. There are other underlying issues, but money is the easiest way for the issues to manifest themselves. And so my journey of going through money coaching, I came in knowing very well I was coming to